Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Writes and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fan fiction. Thank you so much to ChocoLuck Chipz for allowing me to use their amazing artwork in my thumbnail. If you haven't checked them out, their link will be in the description box below. Also, if you haven't seen the previous parts of Adrienette April, I will link those below as well, so be sure to check them out. Now then, please enjoy Adrienette April. Day 21. Trapped. "It won't budge," Adrien said, attempting to wedge his hands in the minuscule crack of the doors, sealed tightly shut. Marinette pushed past him, giving it a try. "If I can't do it, what makes you think you can?" He crossed his arms, smirking at her. "Not helping," she struggled. "Are you seriously joking right now?" she said incredulously. On a school trip to the Montparnasse Tower, she stayed behind to gather her stuff, so he and Adrien were the last two on the elevator, and now it was stuck, no signs of moving. "Marinette?" Miss Boustier's voice sounded faint through the heavy metal doors. "Can you hear me?" "Yes, ma'am," Marinette yelled back. "Any news on when we might get out?" "Not yet, but I promise we're working on it. Who else is with you?" Marinette could sense the concern in her voice, even though it sounded distant. "It's just me and Adrien." "Adrien, you say?" Alia's voice came beaming through the metal, ecstatic. She paused for a moment, no doubt receiving an annoyed look from Miss Boustier. We'll get you guys out." Marinette sighed heavily. Did Alia set this up? Marinette knew it was a silly thought, but Alia was way too pleased at this scenario. "So, what now?" Adrien said after their one and only idea failed. Marinette sunk down against the cold elevator wall. How long had they been stuck in there? Marinette assumed a few hours. She checked her phone. 10 minutes. That's it? She looked at the phone screen further, gazing at a picture from Adrien's latest photo shoot. She then noticed that she had no service. Well, at least people knew they were trapped here. Trapped. In an elevator. With her crush, Adrien Agreste? Her face suddenly flooded with color as she realized Adrien had slumped to the floor only a few inches away. Their hands were nearly touching. She placed her hands around her knees to avoid that. "Well, this is kind of fun, huh?" Adrien said enthusiastically. Marinette couldn't help but laugh. "This is your idea of fun? You really need to get out more." "Maybe." He tucked his knees to his chest, placing his head on top, fiddling with a small rip that had formed on his jeans. "We never just hang out, though." That's true. Did he want to hang out with her? This was good, right? "So," Adrien said, his voice trailing off. "So," Marinette replied hesitantly. This was awkward. What does she say to the boy she's had a crush on for, like, forever? "You smell nice." Marinette winced. Did she just compliment his scent? Geez, flirting was definitely not her strong suit. "Thanks, it's my brand. Father thinks it's good advertisement," he said with embarrassment. Marinette knew exactly which cologne it was, and she currently had it sprayed on her pillow. "Ah," she said nonchalantly. Yeah, no way she would tell him that she recognized it. He sighed. "Everything okay?" Marinette asked, scooting the slightest bit closer to him. He shifted nervously. Marinette had only seen him act cool and suave, but he appeared a bit anxious. "We're friends, right?" "Yeah, of course," Marinette said, her heart beating quickly against her chest. "Whatever it is, you can trust me." Her tone was warm and comforting. She reached out, taking his hand. His eyes met hers, her heart seeming to skip a beat. I've been keeping a secret without anyone to share it with, and I need to tell someone. It's been a year now, and I haven't told anyone. Marinette looked at him earnestly. Adrien, I promise I won't tell anyone. Everyone needs someone to confide in. I'll be that for you. The tension in his body seemed to relax at her words. Marinette couldn't help but wonder what secret he could possibly be keeping. While his body looked more at ease, his face looked distressed. I want to tell you that, he said with some difficulty, as if gearing up for a major confession. He wiped a bead of sweat that formed on his brow. I'm Cat Noir, he said quietly, as if someone may be listening in. Marinette's mouth dropped, words escaping her. I know, it's unbelievable. I can hardly believe it. Ladybug made this look easy. Telling someone her identity, I mean. And now that you know, I feel free somehow. His face lit up brighter before turning somber. Our team has grown a lot since the beginning, which is great, I suppose. But lately, Ladybug just doesn't need me anymore. It gets a little lonely, so I'm glad I can share this with you. Cat Noir is Adrien. Adrien is Cat Noir. Things began to make more sense. She glanced at his hands that embraced his knees, and there, placed on his right hand, sat a silver ring, identical in shape and style to Cat Noir's. Marinette sat in stunned silence. Marinette, I know this is a shock and everything. Are you... He started. Oh my God. That means that I... and you... Her voice rose in pitch, speaking frantically. Adrien was Cat Noir, which meant she was in love with both of them. Wait, this meant he had rebuffed Adrien's affections for her several times. I'm so sorry, Adrien. Her voice came out as a whisper. She had made Adrien feel lonely and unwanted. Due to his father, he already led a rather secluded life. Had she only added to that misery? Probably. A sinking feeling settled in her stomach. Adrien looked truly confused. Sorry? Why are you sorry? Nothing is your fault, he said, amusement lingering in his voice. Marinette anxiously pecked at the textured floor of the elevator with her knuckles. She held her head, running her hands through her fringe. His hand cupped her shoulder gently. Take a breath, okay? Tell me what's wrong. His voice spoke to her like the most beautiful song, touching her soul. The borderline panic attack slowing as her breathing evened out. I'm sorry because I'm Ladybug, Marinette blurted out, her voice muffled as she squeezed her knees tighter against her, speaking into them. What? I'm Ladybug, she repeated louder with desperation. I'm the reason you feel this way. His mouth hung open, wanting to say something, cut off by Marinette's endless stream of sentences. I pushed you out because I thought I was doing a good thing by increasing our team, but I was terrible to you. She finally jumped to her feet to pace around the enclosed space. And do you know the worst of it? Adrien stood also, about to answer her rhetorical question, but the word vomit continued. I never even told you that I love you. Both of you, I guess, now. I thought my feelings for Cat, aka you, were just, I don't know. But I had already fallen in love with Adrien, aka also you. And now, I'm blathering like an idiot, trapped in this space with the person I love more than I don't know, probably anything ever, and I... Her eyes widened as she sank slowly to the floor on the opposite side of the elevator. She stared ahead of her at nothing in particular, looking like she had seen a ghost. You didn't mean to say any of that, did you? Adrien said, a hint of a smile on his face. No, I did not, she said, attempting to keep her voice even while still not making eye contact. Adrien moved beside her. Did you mean that? Yes, I did, but I've been so terrible to you that I wouldn't blame you if... He held up a hand. Marinette, I love you, okay? You always do your best to help everyone. I'm sorry if I placed added pressure on you. You're so hard on yourself. You love me? She said in amazement, her glossy eyes meeting his. Yeah, we're the bug and cat team, remember? I'll always love you. He embraced her, stroking her hair. Almost as if on cue, the elevator emitted a low beep and started to rise one floor. As Marinette hugged Adrien, she thought maybe Alia orchestrated this after all. Whatever fates controlled the world, she was thankful this happened. She would be trapped with Adrien any day. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give this video a big like and subscribe. As you might can tell, I'm not in my usual recording space, so if you hear some voices or cars, I really apologize. Everyone is currently still awake, and I try to record when people are sleeping, but I'm out of town this weekend, so thank you guys so much for understanding, and as always, stay miraculous!